When I bought the property, I expected peace and quiet. Instead, I got an HOA president named Vanessa Brooks. At first, it was just one vehicle. Someone kept cutting across my lawn instead of using the road. Then it happened again and again. Every week, new tire marks appeared. I tried the polite approach. I added markers. I posted signs. None of it made a difference. When I confronted Vanessa, she laughed. She claimed everyone used that shortcut and said I was overreacting. The shortcut became popular. Soon multiple vehicles were crossing the property. My lawn looked worse every month, so I installed cameras. I wanted proof, and the footage quickly showed exactly who was responsible. The recordings were undeniable. Residents used the shortcut daily, including Vanessa herself, sometimes several times a day. Before taking action, I verified every boundary. The survey confirmed the lawn was entirely mine. That's when I came up with a simple solution, completely legal, completely visible, and impossible to ignore. Over the next week, a landscaping crew arrived. They installed permanent features along the shortcut route. The following Monday, Vanessa discovered my surprise. The shortcut was gone, and her reaction was exactly what I expected. Vanessa was furious. She couldn't believe the shortcut was gone. The route she'd used for years had completely disappeared overnight. Other residents noticed immediately. Some were annoyed. Others simply used the road. But Vanessa treated it like a personal attack. She called an emergency HOA meeting. According to Vanessa, my landscaping violated community standards. There was only one problem. The HOA attorney reviewed the documents, then delivered bad news. My property wasn't subject to those HOA rules. Vanessa argued anyway. She demanded enforcement, but the attorney repeated the same answer. The HOA had no authority over my land. A few days later, deputies arrived. Someone had filed a complaint. Apparently, the barriers were creating neighborhood problems. I showed them the survey, the permits, and the property records. Everything was legal. The deputies spoke with Vanessa. They explained the situation clearly. Private property owners can protect their land legally. Then a larger problem emerged. The shortcut had been masking a poorly designed traffic pattern. Without it, congestion increased dramatically. Engineers reviewed the neighborhood layout. Their conclusion surprised everyone. The HOA should have built an additional access road years earlier. Homeowners wanted answers. Why had the HOA relied on private property for access instead of fixing the actual problem? For the first time, many residents blamed the board. The issue wasn't my lawn. The issue was years of poor planning. What began as tire tracks on my lawn ended with the entire community discovering a problem that had been ignored for years. The next HOA meeting was packed. Residents weren't talking about my lawn anymore. They were talking about leadership. And Vanessa was suddenly on the defensive. As records were reviewed, another issue surfaced. Funds for a new access road had been postponed multiple times. Homeowners wanted explanations. Why had the board ignored the traffic problem? Why was private property being used instead of proper infrastructure? An independent traffic study was completed. The results were clear. The shortcut had never been an official route. It was simply a habit residents developed. Even board members began distancing themselves. Support for Vanessa weakened. Many felt the conflict had become unnecessary and expensive. Eventually, the HOA approved a real solution. Plans were drafted for improved neighborhood access. A few months later, the lawn was fully restored. The shortcut was gone, and the neighborhood finally learned that respecting property lines avoids bigger problems later.